got the juice, keep the show on fire. Josh brings the news straight from the source with no desire. The judge, our wise advisor, keeps us in line. Fresh from the comic shop, showcase your design. Ask Joe the comic book ninja for insights to explore. The popcorn gets to know you from straight to the core. I guess out to think, cause we make some freaks. So much more to discover, this show's a hit. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. Anything can happen on a comic book canon. So let's start.
Comic book canon community, I'm here today on this all holy of days, Star Wars Day, to give you my apologies. For the first time ever in the history of comic book canon, we are late, not due to Jeff, who is always the late one, but due to me. I selfishly went out at approximately 6 p.m. tonight to partake in a sushi dinner. The sushi took way longer than expected, and I didn't get home until just a few minutes ago. And I give you, from the bottom of my heart, my most sincere apology. It's usually Jeff's fault. It's always Jeff's fault. But tonight, I bear the responsibility. Thank you. And I hope you have a great rest of your night, despite this massive fumbling by me. Let's bring in Jeff.
Well done. It's called taking accountability.
No, hold on. Stop. You're on the wrong side. Thank you. Oh, where'd you go? No, stop being on the wrong side. What's happening?
This is what you get. Honestly, that's what you get. No, but I truly, it's me messing with him, everybody.
Oh, okay.
I truly appreciate the accountability. I take accountability every week, even though you make lies of why I am late. However, I do appreciate this. It was bad sushi. You had to take care of some business.
It was
literally
great sushi.
Well, obviously the aftermath. That's why you're late. Is that right? This is taking way too long. This apology and all that. We have a guest to get to tonight, right?
We do. We
do
do.
have a guest to get to. We got to get through the news. Thunderbolts weekend. Lots to talk about. But go ahead.
Yeah. Speaking of, before we get into the news, before we get into the show, we've noticed something that's kind of been popping up here and there in the community. Obviously, we had a major release of a Marvel MCU film this week, one that has been, kind of hot and cold with the community. I know there have been a lot of people that have been like, who cares about the Thunderbolts? On the other side of the coin, there are people, like our own Nori Jordan, who has been a major fan of the Thunderbolts for a very long time and has been counting down the days, minutes, seconds, hours. I put those in the wrong order, but that's okay. Down to this movie. And I've noticed some things popping up here and there. Some people making public statements. Jeff, why don't you put the first one up? We've seen some actual graffiti, regarding this movie, Thunderbolts with the asterisks. We've also seen some references to other comic books, such as this one saying "The void is nigh," pulling a little bit of Watchmen into the world of Marvel here. Obviously, a different publisher, but definitely interesting. And this last one that really took me by surprise. Nori was right. Someone in the community just, painting up on a wall. Nori was right. Really shows how the community is feeling about this movie. The general consensus is Thunderbolts is phenomenal. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But that being said, really cool that so many people are, putting their thoughts out there in the world.
I mean, if there's one thing I despise is the fact that somebody admit that Nori was right. But we'll see if we all agree with that. I'm not sure I do. I'm not sure if you do. I'm not sure if Josh does as well. So again, we'll have to get to that. But congratulations, Nori. You are causing a stink around the world. Actually, Thunderbolts is a global release. So congratulations on that. We truly appreciate your finally. This is the pinnacle of your career, unless there's a sequel, I guess. But we'll get into that later. This is episode 222. Is that right, Joseph?
Triple two. You got it.
22. Did I upload the? Yeah, I did. Hello. We are not that much of a mess this week. That's right. For episode 222, we have featured episode issue 222, which is the Incredible Hulk number 222. After a confrontation with the military in the Adirondack, did I pronounce that right? I don't think I did. Adirondack Mountains, the Hulk is subdued by gas and collapses. Two children Donnie and Marie, by the way, probably Donnie and Marie Osmond, I would say, discover him and bring him to their cave dwelling where they live with their mutated brother, Billy. Exposed to toxic waste as an infant, Billy has become a monstrous cannibalistic creature. As Bruce Banner regains consciousness and learns of Billy's nature, he transforms into the Hulk to confront the beast. The ensuing battle causes a cave-in burying both combatants. Only the Hulk emerges, leaving the fate of Billy ambiguous. Again, Hulk 222, written by Jim Starlin and Len Wein, with art by Jim Starlin. Joe, do you have any thoughts on this featured episode issue?
Yeah, my first thought is that you live in the same state with the Adirondack Mountains.
Yeah.
So listen, you need to go back to middle school geography and pronounce things correctly. Otherwise, we're going to have a little talking to in the HR office.
That's fair. Okay, so we can move on from the featured episode issue because we can.
Great stuff. Bronze Age Hulk. Can't go wrong with that. Very popular run during the time. I'll tell you this.
Do tell.
Amazing Spider-Man, obviously, amazingly popular, as well as X-Men. From buying collections so often, I think that Incredible Hulk might have been kind of the third place at that time as far as like sales and you know, people had that on their pull list, or you know, that were just grabbing it off the rack, because so many collections that I get have that Bronze Age Hulk run.
Oh, that's interesting. And again, we're starting to get into the Bronze Age. It's kind of hard picking out these issues without it being like Marvel, because a lot of the independents, other than Spawn, maybe Savage Dragon, etc., haven't gone this high. So we're gonna have to start getting creative with these to get outside the box picks. Thank you, Derek, saying for noticing my new lighting situation here. I'm really trying to dial it in, and I'm not doing that great of a job. I do not want the candlelight vibe at all. So again, please be patient. The next few episodes, I'm sure they will look better. All right, so Derek, I hate you. Moving on, we have what we do each and every week. We got the news with Joshua.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
All right, Joshua, you are here to deliver the news. You are the news editor of The Canon. With that said, we have a guest, so we got to get through this because usually we take about 45 minutes to an hour these days, which isn't fair to people. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, we have a guest. We have a lot of things we're doing today, so we're going to breeze through this news.
And let's be honest, everybody here wants to see the guest fail. Is that right?
I hope so. 10 out of 10. Absolutely.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. That's no doubt about that. All right, so Joshua, let's just jump into the news. What do we got?
Yeah, we're going to start out with some MCU news.
That's not what we want.
Whoa.
Just chill out. Keep going, buddy.
Oh, God. Jeremy Renner says that he turned down Hawkeye Season 2 after being offered half of his salary for Season 1. So he pretty much confirmed that Season 2 is going to be happening. Well, he may not be showing up now. Now, from what I have heard is that the plan going forward is that Kate Bishop will obviously take the lead. But however, I hope that Jeremy can maybe make a deal. Something can come through. He also stated in the interview that it was Disney who gave him the initial offer. Marvel wasn't involved. So hopefully, you know, Kevin and the team will do what they do best. Talk to Disney and give the man what he's worth. He's worth a lot more, and he only wants to be paid his original salary from Season 1. He's not even asking for an increase at all. He just wants to be paid the same he was for Season 1. So,
Joseph?
Yeah, so my thoughts on this, and we don't know the situation. Was he offered half for as much work, or is his role going to be more limited in Season 2? As we know, he's in the process of stepping back. You know, he's already retired from being an Avenger. He just was, you know, helping out with some things in Hawkeye Season 1. Is the show going to be more Kate Bishop and way less screen time for Clint Barton? Because if that's the case and his salary was cut, that I understand. And I understand, like, he's trying to get the, you know, the most out of it and, you know, get his payday, get the bag. But at the same time, you know, we don't know. Maybe he's only showing up, you know, they were only planning to put him in 2 episodes or so. So either way, hope this show happens. Hope he's in it as well, because he's been great. But, you know, just when these rumors fly, or not just rumors, you know, he obviously said it. We got to take these with a grain of salt because we don't know the whole situation.
And I have to say, that's not how it works. He is technically the lead of the show, whether he is taking a step back or not. And if he's, you know, fact of the matter is he has been Hawkeye this whole time. There's something about respect in the role, and having him come in there and, you know, be a part of it as he has been. He's helped bring the MCU to where it is today. That, you know, he's handled it very well, but fact of the matter, that's disrespectful. Doesn't matter how many days of work he is doing. If it's a cameo, sure. But if he's part of the series, just as he is in, as he was in season 1, that's not how this works. Lowballing him like that is crap. And I had no idea, Josh, that it was Disney who offered that. And, you know, Kevin Feige has really stood up for his people. Scarlett Johansson is a good example of that. So I expect the same to happen, and I'm hoping that he's really part of it, because that was a really special series on Disney Plus. So.
Well, I love the show, so I'm hoping they do bring it back.
100%. All right, we're gonna move on to our next news piece. Joshua, what do we got?
Yeah, this is cool. This is actually the first time this has ever happened, and Marvel Studios and Marvel Comics will collaborate to develop a Fantastic Four First Steps comic, which will be available on July 2nd. They've never done a comic set in the MCU before, so this is a very interesting thing, in my opinion. We're gonna have to see what this does. I would imagine this probably will tell some backstory on the team. From what my understanding is, the movie, you know, from what you can tell from the trailer, we're not going to get an origin story. So possibly here in this comic, are we going to get the origin story of the Fantastic Four? And also, again, like, this is the first ever time they've ever done something like this. And I'd be fine if Marvel wanted to do more, you know, MCU comics related to build out characters and flush out more storylines over time. So yeah, this is very exciting.
Go ahead, Joe.
I was just gonna say, imagine, like, you know, 30 years from now, 40 years from now, whatever it may be, they reboot the comics, and they just use the entire MCU storyline and write it as comics. And we're telling our grandchildren, like, oh, when I was a kid, this was a movie. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever, dude. It'd be great if they just kind of recycled it again and used it as comic material. But no, this is cool. I'm excited for this movie. If this does go along with the movie in a way that adds something to it, sure, I'll pick it up and read it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm definitely picking this up. I love the idea here. And Josh, I would think that this would be an origin story. I mean, this is just my assumption. What's that?
I said, yeah. I was just saying, yeah.
Oh, I thought you were making fun of me.
No, I
don't tolerate that.
That's too easy.
You know what? As I was saying, you could tell by the first issue here of Fantastic Four on the right, and then what they have coming out to be a companion to the film. I'm super excited. Again, saw Thunderbolts today, saw that trailer on the big screen. Even more excited. Sorry about that, Joshua. Not really that sorry, and Joe, but let's get moving to the next news piece. What do we got?
Yeah, this is a bit concerning and a little sad. So a few days ago, it was announced that Sergeant Rock was canceled officially. But a day later, I saw some articles come out, and it's kind of rumored right now that the production has been halted according to Deadline, and this film is looking to start shooting in summer of 2026. Now, again, a lot of people were saying it's canceled. Some are saying it's postponed. We really don't know. I would pretty much wait for James Gunn to confirm what's going to happen with this film at this point. But as of right now, we may not end up getting this film. And honestly, I mean, yeah, it would be cool to see, but at the same time, do we need a Sergeant Rock film for the DCU? Not many people know who he is. I don't think it would, you know, I don't see us missing out if this film does not happen.
This is a character that doesn't really transcend into the mainstream population. Mm-hmm. And given that he's also not, you know, a hero, like not a superhero, at least, it's going to be tough to sell this one. So I'm not upset if this doesn't happen. Sure, anything that like fleshes out the universe, that can be cool. You know, comics becoming, you know, movies, awesome. I like those interpretations. At the same time, it's not high on my list. It's very low on my list.
I'm going to agree with that as well. However, I think it's a little bit of a messy situation where DC can't take any missteps, and you greenlight a film, and then all of a sudden you take it back. It's not a great look. Again, I have full faith in James Gunn. He's seen how it's done with the MCU firsthand, as he was a part of it for directing 4 movies, actually. And he's done a DC film as well. I hope this isn't an indication of things that are still messy in that organization. I really do hope, because we all want DC to succeed. But going what you guys both said is like, it's a very out there character to be part of the DCU, even though Caleb Leland disagrees with us. So that's, again, I just hope it's not an indication of messier things within the organization. That's all I'll say. So anyways, moving on, Joshua, we're jamming through this. We're jamming through the news. That's a first. Go ahead.
With this next piece of news, let me just say, may the 4th be with you. Happy Star Wars Day. So Andor Season 2 is officially out. We are now 6 episodes in. I believe we got 6 more episodes to go. 3 more dropping on this Tuesday, and the last 3 the following Tuesday. And I've got to say, man, Andor is killing it. I actually just binge watched Season 1 2 weeks ago. My first time watching it, loved it, and been watching every episode since it came out the last couple of weeks of Season 2. Best Star Wars content we've probably gotten since Mandalorian, and hopefully they keep riding with this, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll get greenlit and get a live action Darth Vader show set between A New Hope and episode 3 and A New Hope. Give me a Vader hunting down Jedi, killing people. I'd love to see it.
Joseph.
And we kind of already got a little bit of that in Obi-Wan, but nonetheless, you guys have heard me say this over and over again. Rogue One is my favorite Star Wars property outside of the original trilogy. In fact, I think it's better than Return of the Jedi and at least as good as A New Hope. That being said, I have not watched a second of Andor Season 2 yet, because I'm trying to binge watch it all at once. And I'm also currently finishing the Netflix show You. The final season just came out, and I love that show. So I'm watching that right now. Going to be binge watching this when it's done. Very, very excited. I've only heard good things from people who, are watching it. I will say, just like the first season, I have heard that it kind of starts off a little slow. Stick with it. It's way worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've loved most of the series that Disney has released, and just like Joe, I have not watched any of Season 2. I am so looking forward to it. I have been so damn busy. I have not had any time, and it's pathetic in my opinion, because the first season of Andor, I'd eat it up the day it came out. This time, I don't know. I'm 4 episodes behind, Josh? Insane.
6 episodes.
What am I, I'm an adult now? This sucks. This is awful. So that needs to change soon. I need to catch up on this series. The trailer looks amazing based on what everybody says. It's amazing. And if it's anything like Season 1 or better, we are in a great place, because Rogue One is one of probably top 3 Star Wars films for me. So absolutely. So I have to catch up on it. Shame.
I will say this. A lot of people, and even the creator of the show, Tony Gilman, I think his last name is, he said that what you should do, wait for both seasons to drop, watch Season 1 and 2, and immediately jump into Rogue One. It will be a complete, one whole movie. And so, yeah, I plan on probably doing that once Season 2 officially wraps up and we have it. I'll spend the whole day doing that.
And then you got to go right in from Rogue One right into A New Hope, because
I know exactly. And then
all of that content is in the year 0 BBY, which is the start of the Star Wars universe. So perfect way to just kind of watch as it goes, that last,
And I'll say this too, seeing not just Andor's story, but seeing the rebellion and how it grows and becomes what it is, it's just, you guys will see when you jump into Season 2. It's top tier.
Okay, as far as binging all of the seasons and the film Rogue One, I'm not sure where you were when I just said I have no time for anything, let alone sitting there for 22 hours to watch all of this. So
that's not my problem, Jeff. You need to make time.
That's fair. I love you as a teammate. I really do. Moving on to our next news story. What do we have?
Yeah, so this is something that we were talking about before. Diamond Comics, bankruptcy. There's been a lot of back and forth. Originally, the winning bidder was going to get it, and then they were getting sued by another company, and then they dropped out, supposedly, the winning bidder. So now the company that was suing them, I believe, is the winning bidder. However, Diamond has not filed all of the paperwork with the courts yet. And potentially, if they do not have it in by a certain time frame, they could go to bankruptcy 7, which means they could completely shut down because they haven't filed everything. So this is a story that we're gonna have to keep updated in the future. But as of right now, they do have a bidder. They were bought, but if that paperwork is not put in, supposedly the courts, I believe in Maryland, if I'm not mistaken, in Baltimore, have said that, yeah, they could potentially have to shut down if they don't file the paperwork ASAP.
This is an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
And this is, this is
Yeah.
really an epitome of what Diamond is, right?
Yeah.
And I think they're smarter than everybody in the room. They've always been like that. And this second bidder that they actually tried to deny the first bidder, but the second bidder is actually a better option because they have experience in distributing comic books in Canada, which really helps in any sort of territory in the US. The first bidder, which was something AENT, has no experience in distributing comic books. So I hope that this falls to Universal and AdPop, because that will really help. If Diamond falls, if it implodes, that's a big blow to the comic book industry. Joseph.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. And one thing that someone said, Kaboom said in the chat, let's all get together and buy Diamond. I actually know of there was a Philly comic book store that is a big distribution store. They were banding together with a bunch of other major stores, major Diamond customers to try to buy Diamond. They were actually trying to do that. It didn't end up happening. They did make a bid though. That would have been awesome if actual, stores in the community took over and really, were able to cater to that level. Unfortunately that didn't work, but man, I hope this gets resolved soon.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and it leaves a lot of people hanging. Their livelihood is hanging in the balance in terms of how they're going to proceed in selling new comics, because a lot of shops rely on the new comic books. Some shops, rely on older books, and it's just a freaking mess. And let's just hope it gets resolved in the next, I think it's 2 weeks. The courts have to decide. Let's hope it's not bankruptcy 7 or whatever the hell that is. So we're going to move on to one more news story. Then we're going to get to our review of Thunderbolts. Dan De La Torre will not be, the judge will not be part of the show this evening, not because we're preventing him. It's because he has another obligation. He's presiding over, was it a murder case or something like that, Joe? I don't know.
I believe it is murder. Yeah, I couldn't think of anything quick enough.
That's
so
fine. Moving on, Joshua.
Yeah.
By the way, I just want to also acknowledge we've been off the air for 2 weeks. We're a little bit rusty. Please give us some grace. You're welcome, Joe.
Thank you.
So are we going to talk about the X-Men team up first?
Oh my God, we may as well because you just mentioned it. But yeah, that's
well. Let's do that first, and we'll leave Thunderbolts review for the last.
No, we're doing Thunderbolts last. Then we're introducing the guests.
Jeff, calm down.
I'm just getting so frustrated, guys. It's just been really difficult. I've been so busy lately. It's been hard, and I'm just taking it out on my loved ones like you.
Listen, did mom make you the spaghetti and meatballs tonight?
Moving on.
So we got some great news. Ryan Reynolds is reportedly exploring ideas and trying to write a film for Deadpool, which will also feature a group of X-Men characters involved. Kind of sounds like X-Force, I'm going to be honest. It would make the most sense. We'll have to see what happens. And we got X-Force pretty much in Deadpool 2. Regardless of whatever Ryan wants to do, I mean, hopefully, we see more Deadpool, which I'm sure we will see him in the MCU more. Deadpool and Wolverine was a big hit, made a lot of money and was well received. And you know what? I'm up for it. Ryan does great writing, I think, honestly, for the character of Deadpool. And whatever he's going to do for the film, whether it be an X-Force or another buddy team up with different characters from the X-Men, I'm open to it.
Joseph.
Yeah, clearly Ryan Reynolds, not only does he obviously kill it in the role, but he generally has enough control over these projects now. It seems that he can do really cool things with them, and it seems like he's catering to the people, which is really, really awesome. I hope they continue to let him do that. One thing I'm concerned about is Deadpool. Really, this is with any character. It's not just Deadpool, but any character becoming too much of a focus is not good. I love
Deadpool fatigue, you're saying?
Yeah, I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but there was such a focus on him in those X-Men movies that a lot of them didn't really do well without him, or didn't really, like, the other characters didn't get to shine in a way that they really should in a team movie, a team franchise. I don't want that to happen. I don't want things to focus too much on these characters. And, I think they've done an amazing job of making sure that Spider-Man doesn't. Because Spider-Man has been great in the solo films and been amazing in, the crossover films and stuff like that, but has never overshadowed all the other characters. And I'm just hoping that that doesn't happen here with Deadpool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's a lot of that where it's becoming Deadpool centric. And let's be honest. We love the character, we love the films, but that's not the center of the universe in the MCU. I think that's where you're trying to get at, Joe.
Yep.
And there will be fatigue. However, the people that care the most about these characters and portraying these characters, because it's something that they grew up with, like Ryan Reynolds, they appreciate the subject material and they can deliver to the audience. Now, there's all that scandal with his wife and all that stuff. He's getting sucked into that. I have no idea if the studios, are looking at that as bad publicity. Josh, you said that he hasn't even pitched the studio yet, but the fact that he's working on something like this knows that keeping things alive and also bringing in these characters. I want to see Cable again. I want to see Cable, and a 90s themed X-Force would be pretty dope as well. So it'll be interesting to see what comes of this. Let's hope that we see more Deadpool, but not have it be a Deadpool centric MCU. Is that that's a good way to put it?
And I just want to respond to something Derek said. Joe just wants more Domino. Currently, we have 14 million people watching the show. If Zazie Beetz is one of those 14 million people, who, if those who don't know, Zazie Beetz is the actress that played Domino. If you're out there, hit me up on Instagram. Hop right into those DMs because I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, Thanks. He has been waiting for you. And honestly, why would you want to turn a man like this? I mean, look at him. Look at him. Sorry.
Wow. You just cut me off.
Wow.
There we go.
That is just adorable. All right, now it's the news piece y'all are waiting for this week. It is Thunderbolts week. Is that right, Joshua? Thunderbolts week.
Yeah, Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts, and we got a movie review on Thunderbolts. Look, we even have a movie review, a branded movie review logo right there. You got to love that. So I think we should just get right into it because we do have a guest waiting for us. We got to be respectful of this guest's time. We appreciate time. It's the most precious commodity that we all have, and this person is giving us that. So let's get right into it, shall we? Who wants to go first? Actually, you know what? This is how we're doing it. Josh first, Joe, then me.
So,
and wait, hold on. Before you start, Josh, one thing, of course, if you're watching this and haven't watched Thunderbolts yet, there will absolutely be no spoilers. Don't worry.
Right.
Damn. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for me to do this, gentlemen.
Joshua?
Josh,
I got you though. So look, I just going to say, surprisingly, I heard leading up to this, test screenings were great. And you know what? They were right 100%. This is honestly one of the better movies since the ending of Endgame. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was better than Brave New World. I thought it was better than the Marvels. Ant-Man 3. Potentially, I think this might even be better than Spider-Man No Way Home. That's just my opinion. I really like the idea of the team. I like the characters that are involved. They took technically a lot of B and C characters people probably would maybe not really pay too much attention to, and most of these were actually in live action shows as well on Disney Plus, and the team worked great together. I loved it. We got to see Bucky come back, and you got to see the Void, you got to see Serenity, and a great costume, accurate by the way. And I love the story. I love how they were able to to bring him in, and he was like a godlike Superman of the MCU, and to see how he operated and how the Thunderbolts went about going with that. So honestly, I love the film. Hats off to them. I hope we get more of them in the future. I would love to see more team ups of these. And my official rating, are we doing ratings, or are we
Yeah,
gonna
we
wait?
are. We're doing it just like CGC, EGS, what have you. What is it, Josh?
I'm gonna give us an 8.0 white pages.
8.0 white pages. That's a good review right there. It's worth, according to Josh, it's worth seeing this film. Joseph.
Definitely go out and see it in theaters.
Yeah, I think the three of us will agree with that. Joseph, your thoughts real quick here.
This movie really, it blew me out of the water. I thought it was going to be good, but it was a lot better. One of my favorite things, I'm a big horror fan. Y'all know that. It has some horror elements in it, and I think we can all, everyone who's seen it can agree here. Whoever wrote this, Nori was right. He absolutely was. Thunderbolts was a phenomenal experience. And not only that, but it did, in fact, move the MCU forward. So if you haven't gone to see it yet, I do highly recommend you go see it. If you're one of those people that waits until it's on streaming services, try not to get spoiled, because there's a lot of good stuff that does happen in the film and the end credit scenes and things like that. So highly recommend. I give it an 8.5, specifically with white pages, because I thought that this movie, it really, it took these characters, like Josh said, that were lesser seen, lesser known, lesser liked characters. It paired them together with Bucky really nicely, who's a character that's definitely had a lot more presence in the MCU, and it really developed the characters that we wanted to see a little bit more development of, at the same time as introducing some new things, really hitting you emotionally. This is an emotional movie. I'm talking like Guardians of the Galaxy level emotional. So if you're going in there thinking you're going to have like a Suicide Squad type movie, I get the comparison that a lot of people have made between Thunderbolts and the Suicide Squad, but this is definitely something on a whole different level as far as the feelings that you're going to feel while watching this movie.
Facts. Okay, I'm gonna make it quick. Like, it's been a long time since I've walked out of a film, an MCU film, feeling that like, wow, I loved that movie. I loved it so much. I truly loved it. I didn't think I would love it this much. I'm using love quite a bit. I was with Alicia and my stepdaughter Zoe. They both loved it, and they didn't know much about these characters either, but they loved it. You know why I also loved it? It had substance. It had heart, like you said, Joe. One of the main problems we had with Captain America: Brave New World, it didn't move the MCU forward at all. This absolutely moves the MCU forward, but also is almost a standalone film. And that's really hard to balance. And that's another reason I loved it. Acting was superb, directing was superb, and the heart, in my opinion, the majority of the MCU films are about family. This was truly a family film. It showed on screen, and I cannot recommend it enough. And I am super surprised at my rating here. I gave it a CGC 9.2.
Whoa!
Flat out. I had to. Like, I just loved it. And I'm surprised that you guys were lower than that, but I respect your opinion. So,
well, an 8 and an 8.5, kind of. Well, I wouldn't say even low. We're 2 points off from a 10. I mean, that's still a great film.
Still not as good as mine.
Yeah, you're better. Okay, let's move on.
Real quick.
Time out. I also want the fact that Nori Jordan is giving me a slow clap right now. He's probably standing up as well. So, yeah.
Real quick, great thing. The writer for this film actually wrote Fantastic Four.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge.
So,
that's another thing too, is seeing that. I think I mentioned this. Seeing the trailer, the Fantastic Four trailer on the big screen, absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. But right there, we got to end the news. We highly recommend you all see Thunderbolts in theaters as soon as you can. I can't wait till it's on Disney Plus. I may see it in theaters once more. But Joshua, once again, you just crushed it with the news. Any last words here?
I'll be back.
Josh delivers the news and rumors.
I hate when he says he'll be back. I truly do, Joe. It's irritating because we do have to have him back contractually.
Yeah,
I don't know why we had him sign that contract because he is holding us to it.
it's rough. Yeah, it's okay. We won't have to listen to him for a while. We've got some other stuff going on now, including a very special guest.
We do have a very special guest, and I have a very special write-up for this very special guest. And I'm going to bring this where, Joe, I'm a mess. Again, everybody, please have grace because I swear I had, you know what? I'm just going to read it. I don't know where it is. She once had amnesia and thought she was a 22-year-old man after a snow tubing accident. That's apparently a true story. She's obsessed with horror movies and is weaving that love into her content. And she proudly describes herself as a goblin with a growing collection of crystals, flora, and the occasional dead lizard. In other words, she's exactly the kind of guest we want to bring to comic book canon. Everybody, please welcome Naomi-Con. How's it going, Naomi? How are you?
Hi, how's it going?
Thank you so much for joining us. Did you learn one thing from the news at all?
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
No, I just learned that Nori was right. That's about it.
Oh, wow. She's going to take, that's the worst thing. That's one of the worst things she could take from this episode. Okay, so here's the deal, Naomi. You are kind of outside the sphere of the canon. You obviously jumped at the chance to be a guest on the canon, knowing that we are a global sensation. With that said, we want to learn a little bit about you. Naomi was found because she came up in my feed, and loves comic books. Absolutely is an avid reader of comic books. That's fair to say. Am I right?
Correct.
And quirky. Is that fair to say as well?
Yes.
You combine those two elements into her content, you have to follow Naomi. Link is down below to her TikTok. Please do. I'm sure she's expanding into other realms, and she's probably going to get an agent after this guest appearance on the canon. But anything else you want to tell us about yourself before we move on to the critical interview to see if you will remain a guest co-host on the canon?
When you guys were really worried about being disrespectful, I actually like being disrespected. So you guys are right on brand. Thank you.
Fair. Okay. That's excellent to hear. Now, with that said, if that's all you have,
Cracking knuckles, I love it. Getting ready.
Yeah,
that's all you have. It's going to be time to get to work because Joe has prepared an interview for the ages.
Okay.
And everybody, again, please either give your support or throw dirt in Naomi's face. She could take it either way. So that's what we'll do. So, Joe, are we ready to get into this right now?
Yeah. So I did my diligence here. I checked out your TikTok, watched some videos. You got some good content, and that's why you have this opportunity here, which is probably, I would assume, the best opportunity you've ever had in your lifetime.
Of my life. I have a daughter, and this doesn't. Yeah.
Wow. Is she right there? Because I hope she hears that too. Because we'll get her a T-shirt.
Shh, not too loud.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, she knows.
Yeah. So I took a look around. I noticed one of the things that I saw you talking about was growing up in the 90s, the things you watched, the things you were into. I want to know, first question for the interview here, who was your favorite superhero? What was your favorite superhero show of the 1990s?
Okay, if we're not counting like Power Rangers, it was definitely X-Men. X-Men was my.
Didn't realize it was going to be this quick.
I didn't either. And I mean, X-Men, I love the X-Men animated series, but we know that the only possible answer can be Street Sharks.
Honestly.
Yeah, I just, it's a
Here's
little
the deal.
suspect.
I'm gonna say I'm a little embarrassed that we brought her on the show at this point. After the way the answer right here and the way things are going, it's quickly devolving.
Let's give her another chance, because honestly, if you really think about it, like X-Men's at least in the top 17. So she's,
but it's not Street Sharks level is what
not Street Sharks, not Batman the animated series, but top 17 or so. Bring her back on. Let's bring her back on. And try it again.
Again, we told you it wasn't going to be easy, but you said you had this, and obviously this first question,
it was so good. No, I actually used to watch Street Sharks with my brother, so that one.
You know what? This is in retrospect after we've asked you the question. So honestly, I don't really think
doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So
we'll give you another chance here. we'll take another shot. Now you mentioned horror movies, and I'm a huge horror movie fan. Horror just in general, not just movies, but I collect a lot of horror comics and stuff. And I often get talking with people about modern horror, stuff. What I consider modern horror is like 2000s on, last 25 years or so. I want to know what your favorite character is, not movie, but favorite character from a modern horror movie. It can be a franchise, it could be a standalone movie.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
That's a really hard one. I guess the Hand from Talk to Me. That was a pretty good character.
Get her out of here. I mean, listen, I love A24. A lot of their movies are great. Talk to Me specifically was a really enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you can even answer that question when in that way when the talking goat from Drag Me to Hell exists. This not only is this just terrible CGI, but the goat just started talking out of nowhere, and just it made what was already such an absurd movie even more absurd. That there is no more iconic character in modern horror than the talking goat from Drag Me to Hell. But I mean, Jeff,
what do we do? I don't know what to do.
We've had 2 weeks off. The people want a guest. They want a guest that can, perform, and a guest that can, bring something to the table. And we haven't given them that in a couple weeks. So I think one more chance.
Well, we're failing them right now. Everybody, let us know in the comments about Naomi's, about her performance so far. Obviously subpar, and that reflects upon us, and we're embarrassed. But I don't know. You prepared for this interview, so I guess you have one more question.
Bring her in.
You guys were so much easier on Jakey.
Well, timeout. Well, I think we'll let you know why in a second. But here's the deal.
It's funny you mentioned that.
I just want, before you get to that question, I just want to ask you, Naomi, how do you feel about yourself right now?
I'm doing amazing. I think I'm doing great.
Right. Everybody has opinions. Go ahead, Joe.
All right. So my third and final question. Thank God we're almost done with this.
I know.
So I'm assuming here, I didn't do too much stalking, but you post a lot about comic stores in Texas. So I assume you live somewhere down in the Texas area.
Yeah.
Not to dox you on live internet with 17 million followers. Right. To be fair, Texas is a rather large state. We have not named it a city or anything like that. So it's going to be a challenge.
So my third and final question for you. What's your favorite NFL team from Texas?
That's yuck. I won't answer that.
That's correct.
Wow.
That's correct. There's no good NFL team.
Good football teams in Texas. There are no good football. We hate Dallas. We don't care about Houston, but goodness, you redeemed yourself.
Go Birds!
Go Birds! Listen, that's why Jackie did such a great job, because he was an Eagles fan. And
that's why you guys were nice on him. Okay.
Oh, yeah. No. He answered everything perfectly. So let's make that clear. But you did a great job.
I redeemed myself.
She said yuck. Did she say yuck?
She literally said yuck to Texas NFL team.
Congratulations, Naomi. You are officially a guest co-host of The Canon. Moving on here, the show is yours as much as it is ours. Please make it yours. Make fun of us. Talk us up. Talk crap to the audience. We don't care, because you are a guest co-host on The Canon, and that means something. Obviously, you're going to go far in your career after today. With that said, real quick, how do you feel about yourself now?
Oh, I feel great. No, yuck. I've always hated the Cowboys, so it's never going to be a thing. Yeah.
That is the absolute correct answer right there. Look, even Derek said you knocked it out the park with the Go Bird. Young Skeleton killed it. Yep, absolutely killed it. So you've made some fans in here already. Everybody, please follow Naomi down below. TikTok link. You will not be disappointed. Your content is absolutely entertaining, and you better keep it up. Okay?
Okay.
That's what I say. All right. So moving on from the interview, we are going to continue with the show. Go ahead.
Jeff, just before we move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think we need like a 30-second blurb about this amnesia thing.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's talk.
Naomi, hit us with it. Oh, I need to hear about this.
All right, so I grew up in Wisconsin. That's why I hate the Cowboys. No, I mean, we have a lot of snow. We went tubing, and I ended up hitting a metal pole head on. I was about 9, and I woke up in the ski rescue lodge, and they were asking me like, "Do you know who you are?" I'm like, "No, I don't." Thank you, go Badgers. I saw my brother, our childhood friend, and his stepdad. So I thought, oh, I'm a boy. Okay, so I'm a boy. And my brother, they were very scared at first. And then they started laughing because they're like, she thinks she's a boy. And they're like, he's like, do you know how old you are? And I said, 10, 15. And I settled on 22. My mom comes in. And they're like, do you know who this is? And I'm like, no. And she just breaks down. She's like, oh my God, she doesn't know who I am. But let's just say I looked like Two-Face at the end of it. Yeah, my brother thought it was like the funniest thing. But this whole side of my face was purple. So.
And as you were telling the story earlier on, it's not that I felt something there when you didn't recognize your mom. But like I'm just going through my head. You're about to tell everybody you thought you were a 22-year-old man.
Yeah,
like, that is just amazing. We are happy that you do have your memory back. We are happy you are who you are. We are happy you are a part of the canon tonight. We are going to continue on with the show, if that's okay, Joe, unless you have any more amnesia questions.
No, I just needed to hear what that was. Yeah.
How long did it last, too?
I want to say probably for a good half hour. Yeah,
okay. Yeah. All right. That's not that bad. That's something that the family gets together. They laugh at for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, my mom was terrified.
But you're the only person I know that has ever had to deal with that. So, little Caleb with the Go Packers. Okay.
Oh, Go Packers. Yeah.
Okay.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack. Well, no, we can't say that. No, it's better than the Cowboys. But anyways, all right. So here's the deal. We are going to move on to our next segment, which is called Did You Know? Right. But after we do that, we are going to get in and say hello to everybody. Are we doing an Ask Joe tonight?
We can skip it.
I don't know. Let's give it. We'll do
you know what? How about this? There was one question that already actually ended up in the chat. So let's not do Ask Joe, but let's all three of us answer that question. The question was from Raising Elm, and the question was
right now.
Well, I was going to say let's think about it during the Did You Know, and then we'll do it
Here's
after
the question. Everybody, we want your answers as well. Ask Joe, Jeff, and Josh, and Naomi, who is on Marvel Comics Mount Rushmore? It's going to be a tough one to think about.
I did see that comment, and I've been thinking about it since.
Okay, so keep that in the brain. We're glad you have the capacity to do so after that terrible tubing accident. While y'all are thinking about that, we want you to know a little something. I had no idea about this. I just learned the story last week, but apparently Kate Kane, aka Batwoman, asked another woman to marry her, and DC was all on board until they weren't. Did you know that they had to cancel Batwoman's wedding?
Did you know Batwoman was set to marry her fiancé until DC said no? In 2013, Batwoman number 17 made history when Kate Kane, one of DC's most prominent LGBTQ+ heroes, proposed to her girlfriend, Gotham City detective Maggie Sawyer. It was a landmark moment, the first lesbian marriage proposal in mainstream superhero comics. Fans and critics alike praised the bold storytelling and representation. But just months later, the celebration turned into controversy. DC Comics editorial abruptly prohibited the wedding from taking place. The creative team, J.H. Williams III and W. Hayden Blackman, revealed that they were told to scrap the marriage storyline, along with other planned arcs. Frustrated by last-minute editorial mandates, they resigned from the series, stating they were no longer able to tell the story they had envisioned. According to co-publisher Dan DiDio, it wasn't about the characters' sexuality, it was about their status as superheroes. He claimed that heroes shouldn't have happy personal lives, because their commitment to justice must come above all else. This rationale sparked backlash, with many questioning why characters like Superman and Aquaman could marry, but Batwoman couldn't. The fallout was swift, and by 2015, Batwoman was canceled at issue number 40. So, what do you think? Should Batwoman have been allowed to find personal happiness, Let us know in the comments. And if you didn't know, now you do.
I had no idea about that. I know how big of a character Kate Kane is. I did not know that DC kind of rescinded this and was like, oh, they can't have happy lives. But you got, again, Lois and Clark. You got, Aquaman and Mira. It's so awful. And Dan Didio has not really had that great of a career or track record when it comes to like controversy like this. It's pretty pathetic. Like it really, really is. And it's a slap in the face to that community too.
Yeah, and it's so interesting because one of the things they note is this was going to be the first in mainstream comics. Indie comics and underground comics have had gay characters, gay relationships, gay marriages for a very, very long time. Going back to gay comics in the 80s, it was called gay comics. Obviously it's definitely opened up in recent years, but even Marvel in the 80s when it was trying to be done, it was shut down on a very regular basis. And a lot of times it was also when it wasn't like completely shut down, it was kind of hinted at rather than being said or confirmed or anything like that. But yeah, it's good that things have opened up, and they're all those representations are now readily available, which is great. For all sorts of different people, and they've done so in a way that really most of the characters, at least, are great characters as well. It's not just like they're a representation; they're a token, thrown in there for the diversity. A lot of them are really, really good characters that they've added, and not just characters based on or characters with different sexualities, but also characters with different mental issues and different physical abilities and things like that. We had Daredevil being a blind character going back all the way to the 1960s, and several other characters with disabilities, mental illnesses, and things like that. That diversity is not only important, but it's something that a lot of people are thankful for. Yeah.
Naomi, I don't know if you've heard of this story. Again, I just heard about this last week. I mean, I knew who Kate Kane was and what she represented, but I don't know your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I actually just found out about it too. I thought it was really cool. I have to say that like the writing team, for them just kind of being like, nah, we're not going to be part of this if that's not how it's going to go, how they all just split. I thought that was really cool. It showed a lot of solidarity with the community, and also with their like writing, like them sticking true to the story and sticking true to the character. And since then, like, yeah, I don't think they've done anything with her since then because of that reason. I think the community is really, I know that with Pride, when they show all the characters of that community, she's a big person for that. So I know that the community really wants that to be revived. It's just, can they do it right is a big thing.
And they're trying to, I think they've turned it around, kind of their reputation, DC, so to speak, because they do participate in Pride but again, that would have been a kind of cutting edge. That would have been leading the forefront in terms of mainstream. And they just were cowards, to be honest with you, is what it came down to. So again, yeah, props to the creative team for actually walking off, because I don't know if you've read any of those issues. I highly recommend the way that they're laid out, the artwork, the stories. It's really a really good series. Highly recommend that. So,
really respectfully too. It's not anything. It's not hokey.
Exactly. It's not, as Joe was saying, like just throwing in a token gay person to tell a story. Exactly. So they really did a great job with that, and it's unfortunate it ended the way it did. But again, I'm glad that it's come to light that way. So that is Did You Know? We release those as a single video every Monday. Check it out on the Instagrams, the TikToks, and the YouTube Shorts. All right. So Joe, Naomi, I think we've come to a consensus here. We are going to accept Ask Joe questions.
Well, just this one, remember?
Well, I just want to run the pre-roll.
You can run the thing, Jeff.
Ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe, and Jeff.
And Naomi too. You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the only question we have for Ask Joe. We asked it before. We want to hear from you. Ask Joe and Jeff and Josh and Naomi. Who is on Marvel Comics Mount Rushmore? So we need 4 people, everybody. Should we bring Josh in?
Yeah, bring Josh in here, and I'd like to go first, and I'll just go real quick because I had this kind of thought out already because I've seen this pop up. People have been asking about this, both with characters and with creators. And Kate, I'm gonna be pretty close to yours, and Niner Foxtrot. It seems that we all have some overlap here. Spidey is hands down the most popular character. I think that goes without saying. Spider-Man is on.
Well, time out. I just want to clarify. This is your personal Mount Rushmore. What these, it doesn't mean that it's not a popularity contest. Like let's.
Okay, for a personal, because I was going by.
Let's read it again. I don't know. That's what I got from this. Let's ask what you guys think. Ask Joe and Jeff and Josh and Naomi. Who is on Marvel Comics Mount Rushmore? Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I felt like it was more like
okay,
the ones that are going to represent.
Yeah.
All right then. Okay, this is easier then.
Yeah. So, Spidey's a no-brainer for me. Wolverine, immensely popular. Kind of the de facto X-Men, face of the X-Men, despite not often being a leader, of the X-Men team or anything like that. He's just so goddamn cool. Captain America being, kind of this like Boy Scout typical superhero, as well as having originated in the Golden Age far before most Marvel characters came about. And then a couple people are saying Hulk, Stan Lee, and stuff like that. But the one that I'm thinking of nowadays is Iron Man. Due to the MCU specifically, Iron Man has just grown from this B-list character to an A+ lister, a top tier Marvel character that kids want to be for Halloween on a regular. I don't think I saw a single kid when I was growing up as Iron Man. Maybe like 1 or 2 here or there. You go out any Halloween and you see a dozen kids in an Iron Man costume, especially 5 to 10 years ago and stuff during the height of the MCU. So those are my 4, and I bet we're gonna have some overlap, but I'm gonna kick it over. We'll kind of play a little popcorn here. We're gonna go down to Josh next.
We gotta go with our guest.
Okay, let me rewind.
It's all you.
Josh, go away. Naomi, you're next.
This was hard. I have to agree with everything. I personally would like to see a girl on it, just to be a little bit more inclusive, because I think that it doesn't have to be an all dudes game. So sure. I mean, I feel like I don't know, Scarlet would be probably be up there, if not to Marvel, because I'm trying to think of who would just decimate everybody. So probably Captain Marvel. Go that one.
Yeah, Captain Marvel's a good one.
You can't go wrong with either of those, by the way. So wait, so you have Captain Marvel with who else?
Oh, and the Spider-Man, Wolverine, and Captain America for sure. Okay. I know that like growing up, Wolverine was just the coolest dude. Like everybody loved him. So that was And the other 2 are just they're easy. So.
I just want to read Card Toby's Star-Lord, Puck, Abomination, and Fin Fang.
Interesting list. Puck's great. Puck's great. I agree with that.
Joshua.
All right. Obviously, Spider-Man's going to be on there. As much as I hate ASM, showing up in the claim sales. But yeah, Spider-Man, I agree with Wolverine on there too. He has to be. He's like, if you didn't have the X-Men and you just had him, obviously it's all about him all day long, even in the team. My 3rd would have to be Daredevil. I personally think Daredevil, especially now with the MCU and what Charlie has done, has really brought Daredevil a way, way up there. My last one is probably gonna have to be Captain America. I mean, you can't have Captain America not on the Rushmore. I mean, he's this, truth, justice, and the American way for all of us. The man of Shield, technically Steel, but so yeah, I'm gonna go with Cap.
Okay, I'm having problems here because it could change too. Because if you see the younger generation, like my daughter and my stepdaughter's age, 11 respectively. It's interesting because their Spider-Man is Miles, and Miles has had such an amazingly huge impact on these kids, like culturally, like pop culture wise, just pop culture in general. And that is significant in terms of getting somebody on a Mount Rushmore, a pop culture movement. And, the movies obviously help. It's going to be, I'm not going to say Miles, but I want everybody to acknowledge that Miles is having an impact. And 20 years from now, these kids are going to be saying probably Miles over Peter Parker. Peter Parker is my Spider-Man. Definitely, absolutely has to be on the Mount Rushmore, as well as Captain America, as well as Hulk, and as well as Wolverine. I have a hard time with too, because he's having just, I feel like he's had a moment in the past 20 years, but I'm having trouble with the fourth one. I'll be honest, like I really am.
Sure. So I propose something.
I want to say Iron Man too, because he part of the founding of the Avengers
Mhm.
and how significant he is in terms of the MCU.
Yeah.
But it's tough. It's tough.
So I want to propose something. We did that pretty quickly. Let's go back around the horn, and I want to talk about like our individual ones now, because we kind of went with like what we thought would be, but like our own personal top 4. I think it would be cool to explore this. So I'm gonna go ahead and kick it off with you guys all know my number 1.
Yeah.
The Blue Devil, Nightcrawler himself. He's gonna be my number 1 guy, followed by Scarlet Witch, Spider-Man, and Daredevil. That would be my top 4. My 4 favorite characters. Scarlet Witch is a character that really didn't mean a lot to me before the MCU, but she is, to me, the standout character of the MCU, and her character development has been so effing good, and she has become a favorite character of mine. In fact, she has my favorite line in all of comics, my favorite panel from House of M, the No More Mutants line. And yeah, I love reading and learn more about her. Daredevil, I love street level, and he is a pretty quintessential street level character with a lot of flaws and a lot of inner turmoil. And the show has just absolutely knocked it out of the park between the original 3 Netflix seasons and then the most recent. Spider-Man, my favorite as a kid, definitely a character that you just can't go without. He's the relatable guy. And then Nightcrawler, my number 1, my favorite, my blue boy. That's my list.
All right, that's fair. Naomi, you're up. Your 4 personal favorite Marvel.
Okay, so somebody wrote Stan Lee, and I have to agree with that.
I love that. I love, it was Niner Foxtrotter or something.
And I was like, absolutely, I would have to definitely put him up there. He should be glorified in every sense of the word, because without him, we really wouldn't have anything.
Fair.
So definitely that would be Stan Lee, because I was an X-Men kid. Even though Jubilee was my favorite, I don't think she should be on the Rushmore. So I would have to go with Storm. Storm was really I loved her. I loved her so much growing up, and she was very noble and very smart. So she was kind of something that like a little girl like me could look up to. And she was brown. I loved that. So definitely Storm. And the other 2, that one's going to be kind of hard. I've really liked Daredevil lately. So I would have to say Daredevil. That one definitely took me by surprise when I started reading a little bit more about that. I was just like, yeah, this is really something that I'm really into. I don't know, that 4th one though. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna, because it's just the easier one, just say Spider-Man. You can never go wrong with that either. So
absolutely.
My 4.
By the way, I do want to point out that Nori Jordan said Electra, Bullseye, Daredevil, and Zemo, the biggest Thunderbolts fan of all time.
Yeah,
that's fair. This is your day, Nori. Joshua, what do you got?
Yeah,
by the way, everybody knows that Joshua is a DC fan primarily, so keep that in mind. This is probably difficult for him. Do you need us to?
My number 1 pick is going to be Daredevil. And
Number
my number one, he's my second favorite. He's right behind Batman. Just as good as Batman, prep time. But I love Daredevil simply because anybody can go put on a Daredevil suit and go out and fight crime. If you're going to survive, that's a different story. I don't know, but so yeah, Daredevil is my number one. My second pick, I'm going to have to say Thronos. I'm going to go outside the box. I'm going to pick a villain. I'm going to pick a villain. I think he's one of the, obviously he's the top baddie in the MCU or in Marvel Comics in general. And, he's kind of just technically like a man. Like he literally killed half the population for a woman. So, I mean, let's be real. I think all of us, if in that situation,
like us.
Yeah. It's just a dude that loved Lady Death. No big
relatable content.
Yeah, so that's my second. My third would have to be. I'm gonna say Thor. I really enjoy Thor. I kind of picture myself if I hit the gym, bulk up a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's what we were all
Just
thinking.
saying, dye my hair yellow. But yeah, I love Thor and I love the cosmetic, like I love the cosmos and the going out and telling different stories and the crazy stuff with him, especially with what Chris has done in the MCU. My fourth pick would have to be probably Spider-Man.
Wow. Sounds like it's boring. Just throw Spider-Man.
He's like a to me he's like a C-list character. You know what I mean?
Get the
like
hell out of here.
C-list
I'm taking this on right now.
He's not as important to Marvel as a lot of other characters.
Excuse me.
Josh, didn't you get asked if you were one of the Hemsworth brothers recently?
Yeah.
That's who you look like.
This whole time. Naomi's been like, who does he remind me
this
of?
whole entire time.
Yeah.
I thank you. Thank you, Joe.
Unbelievable. Splitting image. I do want to point out real quick that Spuds, aka Alexi, did say Jeff. So I'm wondering if she means me or Jeff the Land Shark. I don't know. Personally, mine would just be Jeff. So please, Alexis, if you could let us know who that is. I'm obviously going to say Spider-Man. That was like everything to me because I related to Peter Parker. I was the smallest kid in high school. I got my ass kicked. So I knew what it was. And great power comes with great responsibility. When I rose to 6 feet high, 6 feet tall by my senior year, I still had no powers. But still, I understand that. But no, that meant everything to me and taught me a lot of the morals and that Stan Lee brought. I'm not going to put Stan Lee on a Mount Rushmore, but it's absolutely Spider-Man for me. It's I like the duality of the Incredible Hulk. Dealing with trauma is what they've gone into a lot lately. So, even in the 70s, like mental health issue, they were dealing with that. So that's a big deal. I'm going to go Spider-Gwen. And the reason I say that, just personally seeing that with my daughter, how just for one Halloween, she dressed up as Spider-Gwen and just seeing how empowered she felt, how it was just awesome. She went through that phase. It was quick. Hopefully she'll fall back into it again, but that was a great Halloween. So Spider-Gwen, I have 3, and then Mount Rushmore. Oh my God, it's so hard because I don't usually do lists, my top 4, this or that. That's really difficult for me to say because it's all about Spider-Man. Like I'm looking around. It's just, I did love Iron Man. I collected Iron Man in the 80s, no lie. So I'm gonna go Iron Man. I was that guy, Joe. So yeah.
Yeah, you were alive in the 80s.
True. I know none of you guys were. I wish Dan was here. He was alive in the 50s. But anyways, with that said, I think we should shut this one Ask Joe question down by doing what we do so well.
Ask Joe, ask Joe, ask Joe, Joe. Ask Joe, whoa, and Jeff.
Look at what this show has done for your career, Naomi. You were just getting fans left and right. Naomi needs to be a regular on the show. Unbelievable. Who are we bumping off then? Nori, you have to say who's getting bumped off the show, who will never be on the show ever again to have Naomi replaced. Just let us know that.
I already know he's picking me. Come on, man.
True,
Let's be
actually,
real.
we'll
Let's be
definitely-
real. Let's just be real. It's okay.
We'll talk. We could do the
I
litigation.
feel like
There,
Joe
though,
would be
Joe.
the one I could replace the easiest. I could just get I'll let my beard and mustache grow out for like a week. And I'll just turn into him.
There's some more. There's some more. We need to ask a little bit more about that.
If you
maybe.
think you can be this cute, I dare you. I dare you.
I'm Mexican. I can grow that sucker out pretty
Yo,
good. Oh.
you don't have the dance moves that Joe has, though. Sometimes he breaks them out.
Yeah.
No.
Can we see one?
Do we have any of those in the media assets at the moment?
Oh my God. I'll have to look for that. I don't think I had that. Oh
Also,
my God, I
you
forgot
cannot,
about that.
you
Hold on.
cannot do what Joe does when he falls down. Whatever he fell down.
I don't know why it's not there anymore. That's a damn
Oh, come
shame.
That
on.
just means we need a live one, I think.
Fair enough. Let's go, Joe.
We got
Everybody in favor of Joe dancing, raise your hand and say so in the comments. That's not.
I don't have much room to move here. And if you remember, last time I moved too much, my chair broke.
Yeah.
That's
it did.
Circa 2023 when I ended up down there during a live show.
But Joe, do you
yeah,
have the booty shorts on? Because if you have the booty shorts on, you get points.
Josh, if you think that I wear anything below the chest while I'm on the show, you are sadly
He has
mistaken.
Winnie the Poohs everywhere he goes.
Winnie the Pooh in it so hard right now.
By the way, you were right. Nori has kicked you off the show.
Hey, Thunderbolts.
Welcome to the show, Naomi. It's time to go into fresh
This is
from
like
the
Thanos. Bye. See ya.
yeah, fresh. Yeah, we just that's a great idea. We should snap next time. But we're just gonna
Fresh! Fresh from the comic shop. Your collection's treasures ready to pop. It's time to share, don't let it flop. Fresh from the comic shop. Take a shot, make it bright, give it style and flair. Show a book that's unique, something rare out there. Tell us why it matters, what's the story behind. Pull at our heartstrings and you'll surely shine.
Sponsored by Crafty Comics, where collections flex their style. Museum quality slabs and displays with 99% UV protection. Because your fresh gets deserved the spotlight.
That's right. Groovy telling us what it's all about. We prepped you a little bit here, Naomi. We're going to do it again. This is Fresh from the Comic Shop, our most popular segment on the most popular show on YouTube, #1 show ever in YouTube. But we got 16 million people watching us on a Sunday night. That's right. You people put in your fresh gets. You deliver on the Instagrams. You tag us in the picture, not in the comments, in the picture. Otherwise, we do not see it if it's not in the picture. You do the hashtag FFTCS. That's just to let us know it's a Fresh from the Comic Shop. And there's 3 criteria we judge by. That is, give us a well-composed shot, make it look good, think outside the box, get creative. Give us something unique. Doesn't have to be how much, Joe?
Doesn't have to be $30,000.
It could be 30 cents, but if it's something unique that we haven't seen ever before, it's gonna help. It's gonna help with the judging. And finally, this weighs heavily. Pull at our heartstrings. Let us know what this book means to you. And yeah, right there is the criteria that Naomi will be judging on here. We will be picking a finalist. I have an apology to make, everybody.
We won't be.
Such a hectic month, super hectic month for everybody. We had the Fresh from the Comic Shop Book of the Year going on, and we didn't get work has been crazy for me, and we didn't get any submissions for April. We did not do any semifinals for April. So we have the semifinals right here. We'll get that going this week. That's a promise to you. It's Nori Jordan versus Raising Elm, and we have Kate's Comics versus Journos. So we will do the voting this week. We'll have an April winner by next show. So with that said, Naomi, are you ready to get into this Fresh from the Comic Shop?
Yes.
All right. Because you're going to be sharing some books as well, as are we. Joshua, you may have some books too. Feel free.
And more importantly,
I guess.
Naomi's going to be picking the winner for the week. So pay attention.
Oh,
Take some notes. And
Act
you're
like
gonna
you
be-
care,
you're
for
gonna
God's sakes. She passes the interview, and then she's been just coasting along this whole time. My God.
I gotta work for my food here.
You do, actually. And that's right. We did promise you a catered meal from Taco Bell. I'm sure it's authentic Mexican cuisine down there in Texas. The best you can get, no doubt.
It's right down the street from me.
By the way, that hot sauce, if you put it on a penny, it cleans it.
Is that true?
Yes,
Damn.
try it.
It also cleans me out.
I'm sure. Boom. Told you guys she was worth the guest spot here. All right, here we go. We're gonna get into it right now with this fresh from the comic shop segment. I am not prepared. That joke threw me off. Well done.
How many books do we want tonight, gentlemen?
Oh my God, this
Josh,
guy.
get out of here, man. Go home.
Jesus, I can't deal with this right now. By the way, just a reminder, we got the January winner is Mons Comics. The February winner is good friend Dr. Plagueis. And the March winner is supercrispy.comics. They are not eligible because they already have one for the month. Also, we know Crafty Comics is not the official sponsor anymore. We are figuring that out. We promise something will be figured out in terms of what you will win. So we'll have that going hopefully in the next few weeks. First up, we got Raising Elm. This is near and dear to all of our hearts right here. Where is it? Comic Fan. We took Eli to his very first free comic book day event this weekend, and my beautiful wife, Randy, managed to capture some pictures. Eli had a blast. He was so excited about finding a copy of Spidey and His Amazing Friends and Iron Man and His Awesome Friends, but he immediately sat down by the free comic book day table and started checking it out. I picked up one or two for myself, but the majority of today's free comic book day haul belongs to him now. That's right. Eli is getting hands-on experience with comic books now, truly raising Elm on comics. I guess technically this is Eli's fresh from the comic shop submission. What did you all find this week? Much love, Comic Fan. By the way, here's some more pictures. Right there, this picture means everything. That kid will always remember moments like this with Justin here, aka Raising Elm Comics. So that is a very special picture, and this was their pickup right here. So well done as always, everybody. Justin is not eligible though because he is in a semifinals from April, so we apologize. That's my fault. Well done right there. Naomi, what do you got with your first fresh get of the week?
Oh, okay. So
Have you been able to hear us well there? Because it's kind of windy in the desert.
it is what?
It's yeah. Okay, as long as okay.
Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, great.
I hate sand. So it's something really, it's not super duper fresh for me, but I found, oh, you can't even see it now.
Put it in front of yourself. Like put it like in.
That's
well,
really cool.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
no, I might have to turn this off.
Oh, for
Hold
God's
on.
sakes. We're terrified of what's behind you.
yeah.
It is my bedroom, so that's why I have this virtual background.
Terrifying.
Here. So
Oh my God, it's horrible, guys. Oh my God, look at that.
it's a grow room. Oh my God. She's got flowers.
Time out. You got an R2D2 shirt on. May the 4th be with you. Well done.
Yeah. As with you. So it is a Wonder Woman book and record set. It is badass. It's from 1977, so it's not super duper fresh, but it's fresh for me. But what counts as a comic book is that it actually has like
Oh wow.
Yes. So it's pretty dang neat.
Looks like she's punching Nazis or something there too. That's great.
She should. Yeah, so I thought this was really cool, and the record is in like pristine condition.
Okay.
So I would say this is.
There's something we need to clarify here. That absolutely would count as a fresh from the comic shop submission if you were doing it as an outside audience member, for sure. Very cool. It's unique. It's a record and a comic book, right? And just because it's from 1977, people pick up a lot of back issues, and it's fresh to them, just as you said. So just want to clarify that.
Okay.
That right there is a fantastic submission. I have to say,
It smells
really cool.
So old. I love it.
Really cool. All right, well done. All right, moving on. We have, and by the way, Justin, you are a finalist because we had a week off. Remember, so that bacon drenched submission you had a few weeks ago is in the semifinals. Just letting you know. Next up, we have Kate's Comics. Kate's Comics. Look at this beauty. Tales of the New Teen Titans, number 43 from 1984. Here's a great issue in the New Teen Titans run with part 2 of the Judas Contract, in which one of their own betrays the Teen Titans. This issue is signed by the late George Perez, my favorite comic artist. While I don't typically collect signed comics, I still find myself collecting his signature when I can. This cover demonstrates his ability to fit so many characters and elements into backgrounds while still retaining emotion and movement for his characters. Which comic creator signature do you collect in your PC? Thank you, City Spartan Comics, for this fire emoji book. Well done, Kate. Well done indeed. Yeah, by the way, we didn't have a show last week. She had an amazing submission for Superman Day. Or was that the casual canon, Josh? I can't remember. Anyways,
no, that was Kate. If you're talking about the one where she's got the glasses,
yeah,
that was the regular show.
A dope submission. Anyways, Joseph, what do you got for your first fresh get of the week?
Jeff, this is a really sentimental piece.
Don't make me cry. Don't you dare.
Sorry, but I might. So this is something that I just added to my personal collection, and you actually owned it at one point. This was a book that you had gotten in a collection, and I bought it from you, and I actually bought it originally to sell it, but it came time to add this to my personal collection.
Dope. So dope.
This is Marvel Superheroes 20. This is first solo Doctor Doom. This is first appearance of Valeria. This is a classic 1960s Silver Age Marvel book. What makes this even more special?
See it. Come on.
Well, hold on. There's a reason I'm not.
Oh, wow. Okay.
The reason I decided to add this book to my personal collection is this past weekend was Super Jersey Comic Expo, last weekend rather. And I was a vendor there, and only about 2 weeks before the show, they made a huge announcement that a comic book creator, the artist of this cover, was coming out of retirement at 93 years old to do a Comic-Con for the first time since before the pandemic. That artist that did this cover is Larry Lieber, Stan Lee's brother. And as you can see right there on Dr. Doom's torso, we'll call it, lower torso, his crotch, Larry Lieber signed this book. This has got to stay PC for me now. This is such a cool piece. 93 years old and still out at a Comic-Con. There's a good chance that he will never do another one again. This was just a really unique opportunity. And not only that, but this book is from my good buddy Jeff. So this is definitely a keeper in my personal collection.
I love that, man. That wins some heartstrings as well as kind of unique. I don't know. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get it's going to be rare if you can get another Larry Lieber signature again. So, all right, we're going to move on. Naomi, we hope you're paying attention.
Not?
We hope you're paying attention. Oh, I see what you did there. Well done. Kaboom Comics is up next. Who is eligible? By the way, Kate is eligible as well. Hope everyone is having an awesome week. Just started picking up Batman books. I feel I need to get my eyes checked again because I'm seeing double Jokers, double Riddlers. Who's the real one? I'm loving the Jim Aparo cover on my Batman 286 and this Batman 279 Ernie Chan cover, also with 2 Riddler doubles. Go on, fight Batman with amazing art by the awesome Neil Adams. Remember, fam, check your eyes often. I do have to schedule an appointment. I actually have a reminder on my phone, so. Well done there, Kaboom. Absolutely. Man, my lighting, I really got to work on this. Anyways, all right. Joshua, your first fresh get of the week.
I got a good book that kind of rivals Joe's book a little bit here. I have Fantastic Four issue number 243, classic John Byrne cover featuring Galactus. Love this thing. Shout out to Pope of Chilitown. I picked this up from him for a great price for half off too. But I just love this. And, Galactus, Fantastic Four is coming up. So I want to grab this for sure so I can have in the collection. And John Byrne, easily one of my favorite Marvel artists out there. I mean, some of his covers are just fantastic, literally. That's the
first time you've ever expressed that. As you know, John Byrne was my first favorite artist I ever had. So well done. We actually have something in common for once. Delightful.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Moving on, we got Mike Haggs, who is eligible. Oh, sorry. No, we have actually, this was not planned. This happens a lot, though. We got a Josh's comic submission as well. Star Wars Rogue One adaptation #1. First appearance of Cassian Andor. First appearance of K-2SO, an Imperial security droid reprogrammed by the Rebel Alliance. First appearance of Jyn Erso, a soldier for the... I don't need to read this for everybody. Saw Gerrera, first appearance. First appearance of director Orson Krennic. With season 2 and the first 3 episodes of Andor dropping, I figured why not share this? Rogue One is one of the best films in the franchise. While we know the ending of that story, it made you wonder about Cassian Andor and what he did before. Well, Andor gives us that and manages to give us some of the best Star Wars content ever. A must-watch for any Star Wars fan, in my opinion. Enjoy this fresh from the comic shop, and remember, never tell me the odds. Well done, Josh. You seriously, your submissions, you are crushing it. Now, I am going to do my first fresh schedule of the week. I don't know if we're going to get 3, all of us, because it's, it's getting past my bedtime. But I'm actually going to dedicate this to Naomi-Con because I saw a video before I read this first issue that wanted me to get, I actually got it. I talked to Jackie about it. I am not prepared for this, everybody, because I went to my LCS today. But yeah, right here, Martian Manhunter #2. I swear, I've never read a book like Martian Manhunter #1. I haven't opened any of these pages yet, but I can't recommend this. And based off of issue #1 alone, so good. So good. And Joe, we talked about you reading a new series. That's one I would absolutely recommend in a heartbeat. Naomi, have you read issue 2 yet?
I have. It's just as trippy, so it's really good.
Trippy is the way to describe it. Jackie came on here, talked about it too. I love this series. And I'm psyched now that you said that about issue 2. Cannot wait to read it. But we don't have time for me to read now. We have to get through fresh from the comic shop because right now we have Mike Hagg's 77. Look at this book here. What's really good, comic fam? Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a Silver Age banger I never thought I'd own. The first appearance of Norman Osborn at a little free time. Excuse me. So me and my daughter hit the LCS and hung out for a few. P.S. She's 2.5 and loves going there to play Pac-Man and always gets a free toy from the owner, Mr. Guy. I was grabbing my pull list, which I'm way behind on, and I spotted this bad boy on the wall. After watching the homie Journo's Comics do a Silver Age Spidey unboxing video, I was thinking, man, I need more Silver Age ASM in my collection. My man blessed me for $40, and here we are, one step closer to a run I casually fill here and there when I can snag the goods for a deal. How do we do on this one? I'd have to say great, Joe. You're more of an expert than anybody else.
Yeah, love Spider-Man. Love this book. It suffers by not having like the best cover. This is probably one of my least favorite Ditko covers. But first Norman Osborn, who technically we do see him before, obviously, as Green Goblin, but this is when, even before they had the plan to make him be the Green Goblin. This might have been around the time they hatched that idea, but just seemed like they were just introducing Peter's best friend's dad. And a couple issues later, it was finally revealed the identity. So definitely a cool historic book right before the end of the legendary Ditko run.
Yeah, very well done there, Mike Haggs, I have to say. By the way, Niner Foxtrot, issue 1 was great. Naomi says issue 1 was great too. But Naomi also says issue 2 is great. So it continues on. It's a weird book. The art is out there. But it's really good. Like, really good. So, Joe, you promised us all you would read a new series this year.
I know. And I started buying Daredevil Cold Day in Hell, which was also, I think it was Jackie that also suggested that.
He did.
So that's on my pull list now. I got the first issue, haven't read it yet. It's only a 3-issue miniseries, so I'm gonna wait till all 3 issues and probably read them all and back to
I forgot to put that on my pull list. I went to the shop and they were sold out, which I was really surprised about. So anyways, all right, who do we have next? We have somebody who's showing, I guess you're showing off a book next, right, Joe?
Sure, why not?
Or is it Naomi? I can't remember. Naomi, let's go with you. You're the guest.
Okay, so we did bring it up. But I've been kind of obsessed with this. I love Jason Aaron so much. I think he is such a phenomenal writer, especially with this series. And I've seen him in other things too, and I'm like, oh, this is obviously Jason Aaron. But Bug Wars has been so good. The amount of detail to what he is putting into it. Like, it's almost like he sat down and was like, I'm going to learn a little bit about bugs, and then I'm going to work in something with them trying to kill each other. It's so good. I love it. Like, so Bug Wars is,
that's a good pickup. And again, I saw follow Naomi, by the way, TikTok down below. Fun content, but also gives you a little insight into some of these issues. And there's some weird stuff that happens in that issue. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw your TikTok for this book, specifically your facial reaction to what you were reading made me.
You're like, wait, where's my Bug Wars? Where is she talking about?
Right, I was interested.
Sorry, fine, I'm gonna be right back.
I'm a little scared about what might be in there.
Yeah, I think we can guess. All right, moving on. Who do we have? We got Dr. Plagueis, who is eligible, and this is an interesting one. I didn't realize what was happening here when I did it. Please tell me. Oh, there it is. As a few of you may know, me and my good buddy Pop and Sloths recently started our own hobby-related YouTube channel, Paper and Plastic Show. By the way, follow them, please. Where every week we talk about the things we love. In a recent episode, I raved about a fairly new series called The Lucky Devils by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. Little did I know, someone took note. I got a message from a good friend, Jeff, that's me, asking for my address because he was sending me something. I had absolutely no idea what this could be. Now, he may not know, but I am a collector of signed comic books. I have hundreds, and to me, they are some of my most prized pieces of my collection. So when I received this copy of issue 1 signed by the writer and artist, you could imagine my surprise and excitement. In 2023, I actually passed on an opportunity to get both of these guys autographs, and I've honestly regretted it all this time. The best gifts are the ones you don't expect, and when someone's caught detail of something that seems so minor in the moment, but the attention to detail that makes it major in the reception. Thank you, Jeff, for this amazing gift, and I will add this to my autographed comic collection with a huge smile on my face. Look, I don't need recognition or anything like that, other than the fact that I do appreciate it meant that much to him. I watched him on a show say that he had to drive like 2 hours away just to get this issue, and I was like, that's crazy. And then the next day, I was in the comic book shop. They had cover price issues with this, people, the creators who signed it. So I just sent it off to him, and I didn't mean it. I didn't know it would mean so much. So I guess little small things that you do can mean the world to people. That's a good example of that. So just want to say that right there. Who's next? Joseph, you're next.
All right. This was an upgrade to my personal collection. One of the things that I often show off here is pre-code horror, my favorite thing to collect. This I had a low grade raw copy, but this was a recent upgrade to the final issue number 40 from it's December 1954. So this is like right before the Comics Code Authority, which makes sense why it's the last issue. Vault of Horror, issue 40, 1954, December 1954. Not only is it the last issue, but it's got a great Johnny Craig cover. Purple, my favorite color. Love it, especially when there's yellow. Anytime there's purple and yellow on a comic book cover, it really gets me. And yeah, this one is, again, staying in the personal collection. And I think someone was looking at the lower grade copy that I had at Super Jersey Comic Expo, but I don't think they bought it. So I think I still have that one up for grabs.
Okay. All right. Well, again, I knew it was horror. No doubt about that. You said 50s. I was like, definitely horror. So well done there. Moving on. We got Nori Jordan up next, people. What are the odds that it's a Thunderbolts book, given that it's Thunderbolts week?
Has to be.
Naomi, it doesn't count because, again, you're new to the show. You don't know Nori that well, even though he is now your biggest fan because he wants to kick Josh off and bring you on as a full-time member. Joshua, what's the chanes here?
I mean, it's. I mean, the chances.
I all know what the answer is. God, I don't know why I try to draw this out. It's so pathetic. I'm excited that we are only a few days away from the only movie that matters this year, the Thunderbolts. I have about 8 books left to complete my run of having every Thunderbolts book published. I couldn't find any of them this week, but I found another book I wanted. This would be Thunderbolts number 20, the 1 in 100 Phil Noto sketch variant. I have a copy, but it has a tear on the cover, so I have been searching for an upgrade. Finding this book is very difficult, and as long as I have been collecting, I've only seen about 5 for sale. It wasn't cheap, but now I have a nice new mint copy to add to my PC. Take care, everyone, and make sure to support the Thunderbolts movie. That's a really cool cover, I have to say. Not new to his collection because he had one of those. By the way, he is not eligible because he's in the semifinals for April, but that's a very cool book for sure. And anyway, I can't emphasize enough how big of a fan he is. Like Joe and Joshua, how many issue number ones does he have of the original Thunderbolts?
I think over 60 copies.
Yeah, it's 68 or something, like 67, 68 at this point, I believe.
Nori,
it's sad. It's sad. It's
yeah,
really
Nori,
sad.
if you're in the chat still, please let us know.
God forbid a man has, obsessions.
Well, I mean, come on, share the wealth. Like honestly, there's probably 67 other people that like issue number one. Right?
Yeah, there's starving children in Africa who haven't read a Thunderbolts comic.
They need it. They need their Thunderbolts. Joshua, give us your second fresh get of the week. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm a big comic book fan, and I was glad to finally pick this up. I've been waiting for a long time, and this is Cyberpunk 2077 Trauma Team, and this is the first comic that is set in the Cyberpunk world. Fantastic game, and highly recommend you guys go out and play it if you're in the games. If not, read it. This is a great series, and it's a bunch of mini series. Like they're like issues, like I think 4 issues each, and there's 3 or 4 mini series right now, and it just builds out the world. Imagine Blade Runner, just set in a more like cyberpunk kick era. It's really great.
That cover is super cool. Is Keanu Reeves in that game?
Yeah, Keanu is the Johnny Silverhand.
Okay. Yeah, that I've seen that cover around before. I'm not big into cyberpunk, but good work there, sir. Good work indeed. Next up, we have Mark Leneker. Oh, Mark. Betty and Me, 137 from 1982, the famous Flashdance cover by Dan DeCarlo, with Archie clearly enjoying the Flash and the dance. I don't know if you guys could see that, but his eyes are in a really interesting place for an 80s book, an 80s children book, to say the least. So
That's
well done,
wild.
Mark. Also, I do want to say, update here. You guys are all wrong. He literally has 84 copies of issue
Crazy.
number 1. 84 copies of issue number 1. Well done, Mark. Or I'm sorry, Nori Jordan. All right, I guess it's my turn real quick. My latest fresh get of the week, my second fresh get of the week. Y'all know I love the Energon universe, Void Rivals, G.I. Joe, and Transformers, but another separate universe and imprint from Image is Ghost Machine, the Unnamed Universe. This is Redcoat number 11. Haven't read this yet, but it's the first appearance of the Northerner, who made a cameo. Cannot remember when, but these Brian Hitch covers, these full covers, are just really, really, really nice. So
yeah,
I highly recommend. Again, if you guys are looking to get into a new type of a universe, if you're not into Energon, Unnamed is pretty good as well. So just want to say that. All right, we are nearing the end here. Real Caleb Leland, aka Cable Leland. What do you got here? This is, I think it's a shout out to Nori Jordan, actually. No, it's not. My bad. I take it back. Real Caleb Leland. Happy Free Comic Day, everybody. My name is Cable, aka Caleb, and I have an addiction. I'm obsessed with grabbing Scotty Young covers, and this cover for Godzilla vs. Fantastic Four issue 1 is absolutely brilliant. I didn't buy too many books today, but I got to spend time with some friends and then went to see Thunderbolts, which was amazing. I also grabbed the free issue of some book called Energon Universe, so I can see what our good friend Jeff is always talking about. Enjoy this submission for Fresh from the Comic Shop while I find a 12-step program for Scotty Young addicts. Cheers! I like that. I like when people also put themselves in the picture. Caleb does that quite a bit, so well done, sir. Naomi, your final fresh get of the week. You brought some really good gets here.
Thank you.
I mean, the Wonder Woman's top notch. By far my favorite out of all of us. But go ahead.
I finally have them all too, which is really exciting. So my last one was gifted to me. It is We're Taking Everyone Down With Us.
Oh, I heard about
it. And but it's the signed copy. So I am very, very excited. I don't know if you can see the art on there. It is amazing. I saw it and I fell in love. So this is it. And it's a really good story. If you guys are into robots and dystopian universes, it's really good.
That art looks. Is that a variant, or is that
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, okay, and it got it signed. Good work there. That is well done indeed. You've done great for your first Fresh from the Comic Shop, participating here. And then last up, we got. How is Dr. Well, I guess no, that was the last. Real Caleb Leland was the last. Oh boy, Naomi, it's time. Oh, Joe, you have something you want to share?
Yeah, I have to share this one.
Go for it. All right.
Because it's Star Wars Day.
It
now,
is.
I picked this up a couple weeks ago, actually, but I'm now thinking about keeping it in my personal collection. So I'm counting this. This is a book that I've always looked for, and I've never found in the collection. I finally did, and I got it in a beautiful 9.8. This is Star Wars Clone Wars #1, first appearance of Ahsoka Tano, first Clone Wars book, yada yada. 9.8. I've had it on my wall for the last couple of conventions that I did, and my last couple of Instagram sales. Hasn't sold yet, and now I'm hitting my mic with it. Now I'm really thinking about keeping it. It's just it's like kind of the quintessential modern Star Wars book, kind of the most sought after one, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
It's huge. Like that's a huge key. And like, remember how much that thing was going for in the pandemic?
Oh yeah, it's way down. It's under $1,000 now, but like it was going for like 2,000 at one point.
It was crazy. So it is not often seen, especially in a 9.8. So that's pretty amazing. So well done there, Joshua. You're gonna close out Fresh from the Comic Shop here.
All right.
Oops, that's Naomi.
Yeah.
So this is
a have you in place now that you're replacing him. So it's just
sorry.
That's
great. That's
yeah. I get used to everybody. Everybody's taking me over. Unbelievable. I'm a quick cannon. Before I do, let me show you the fresh guy.
You're not allowed.
We'll see. Daredevil, The Man Without Fear, issue number 163, a classic issue. This is actually like hard to find in high grade. Like there is no 9.8s, I don't think, on the census, even the 9.6. I don't know why, but this is actually also a bit of a key classic cover and a classic battle of Hawk versus Daredevil. May even be their first ever time they battle it out, but a fantastic issue. Bit of lower grade, but I was still happy to find this for $5, and hopefully I'll find a higher grade copy sometime later this year.
Yeah, I love that cover. Well done there, Joshua. Well done indeed. All right, closing out the show. But before we do, Naomi, you have a responsibility, and it's a heavy burden on your shoulders. We understand. You're trying to hide out on some sandy planet out in the stars, but you've come back down to Earth. I'm not sure what this is a metaphor for, but you have a decision to make. And if you want to give us 3 that stuck out to you, great, but you have to choose one that's going to move on to the first semifinals of May.
Okay, so I do have ones that did stand out. Dr. Plagues, I liked his with the story. Yep. Yes, that you gifted him that one. I thought that was really nice. And then where did I have? And then Mike Hagg's go in there with, I think it was like with his daughter, right? Yeah.
Yes, his 2.5-year-old daughter. Yep.
So I would say between the two, I have to go with Mike Hagg's getting it for trying to get his daughter into that. I think that's really, really cool. So
very important. Very cool. Mike Hagg's, you are moving on to the semifinals of May. Everybody, please remember, we will have 2 semifinals this week for April. My fault. But congratulations to Mike Hagg's. I believe you just joined in the chat here. Everybody, we truly appreciate you. This has been an amazing episode with somebody new from the community, new to us. You're obviously not new to the community. Please subscribe to the TikTok. You will not be disappointed. Naomi's TikTok is down below. I don't know, Naomi, do you have anything you'd like to say to the community, considering now you're going to be replacing Josh as the full-time Canon host?
I will not ever be as sexy as him, and I apologize for that. I will try my best. Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really had a lot of fun. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna put that on my resume. That I'm sexy, and
please put that on your resume.
That would be under like technical right there.
yeah. But still, hopefully I get a new job.
Josh, we really like your 10 years of experience as a diesel mechanic and bonus points for being sexy.
Ooh, you're a diesel mechanic? You should get together like a calendar. Doing like
oh my god, absolutely.
Comic book canon calendar with all the guests.
That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. By the way, D&T Comics, if they do not get in by 5 p.m. Eastern time, I can't get them on the show. I apologize, but they will be on the next show. Again, thank you again so much, Naomi. Let's go around the horn here. Let's talk about just final words for this episode.
Who's starting with me?
You did yours already.
Okay, good. Thanks.
Who we going to next?
You know how we just go, Joe.
Oh, God, I hate this.
Why is it so awkward right now?
Okay, so
sexy.
let's. Oh yeah, I'm distracted by Josh's sexiness.
I'm over here like, what are you doing after this?
Oh, he's blushing. He's blushing.
Look, I've never received compliments like this before in my life. So.
I know. He doesn't know how to react.
Oh,
Josh, I sent you 14 different Valentine's Day cards.
This is getting really weird.
I haven't known you for 14 Valentine's.
No. It was every day from February 1st until the 14th.
Okay, makes sense. Then,
okay, it was a fortnight of Valentine's Day cards. Anyway, so you guys have known I've been posting a lot recently about conventions. It's been convention season here on the East Coast. I have done a convention almost every weekend for 2 months, and I'm finally just about done with it. I got one more, the 3 Men in a Basement comic book swap up in Connecticut, of course, hosted by the 3 Men in a Basement guys. It's going to be an awesome show. That's going to be the last one. So after that, we're doing a state of the market. We're going to talk a lot about what did I sell at those shows? What are people buying? What are people interested in right now? What are the trends in current comic book collecting as of Q1 and Q2 of 2025. So if you're into that kind of stuff, definitely come out to that show. That will be I don't know if we'll either do that on the 17th or the 24th. So either 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now. Sorry, I got the dates wrong. The 11th,
25th.
Yeah, the 18th or the 25th. That's the Sunday. So yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that because that's something that really interests me. Thank you all for being here tonight. We had some awesome crowd participation. Get those submissions in for Fresh from the Comic Shop for next week. We are back on it after 2 weeks of not being here on the show, and I'll pass it over to Josh.
Yeah, you know what? The last 2 weeks I missed everybody. Man, I was lonely. My sexiness over here in myself is just it kills me looking in the mirror, but I'm glad we're finally back, and hopefully we're not going to take a break anytime soon again. That's another great night, another great guest host, and now we have to work on getting her a Comic Book Canon official shirt as well, which we never get for any of the other guests, but we'll still work on it. And thanks everybody for tuning in. Go subscribe and hit the like button to Comic Book Canon, and also follow her on her TikTok. And tune in next week because I got some exciting news and rumors on the way.
Ooh!
Wow!
I'm just gonna flatter him more. Did you hear how much he talked about me? I like that.
He did. Actually, he did. Listen, as I said before, time is our most precious commodity, and we always appreciate you all spending time with us. Again, Naomi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Next week is Mother's Day, so hopefully some of you guys can make it. I got obligations as well. But Naomi, actually, happy Mother's Day a week early, so get that out there. But again, please like and subscribe if you have not done so already. We'll be back next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Naomi, hang out here. We have a backstage after party, open bar. So just chill out for a hot sec. Don't click out. But to you fine folks, hit us up on the socials. Tell us what you're doing with your life and continue to be you. Be good to yourself, and please be good to others. Peace.